Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Sorry, I was doing a little bit of editing there. Guardiola, of course, has come out firing. I've been chatting to Louis, who's coming onto the Fan View Live in a minute, by the way. He's got loads to say and he's loads to talk about. City, of course, have just beat Spurs 40 in a quite remarkable game of football. And there's plenty to talk about. Honestly, there's loads to talk about after this game. Not just on the pitch, but off the pitch as well, which we'll get onto very shortly. This is the Fan View Live. If you're not familiar with the Fan View Live, this is a place for you guys to come and chat to me. If you are a member, which of course you can join by youtube.com/Esteemed Kompany/join, or you sign up to my Patreon, then you're both fucking awesome. Either way, if you are patreon.com/Esteemed Kompany, you can find the link over on the Patreon page or on the community tab over on YouTube and have a chat with me. Now, of course, I'd love to keep it open to everyone, but it'd be a bit of a logistical nightmare. There'd be people joining in, there'd be fans of other teams spamming and all that kind of stuff. And it's my way of giving back as well and having a chat to those people who can help support the channel a tiny bit more. It is appreciated massively. So Ash is here, like Ash, for example. Ash is a member. If you want to chat to me, Ash, JCM718 is a member as well. Patrick Carolus, like Louis and Pete Shepherd. These guys as members, if you go to the community page right now on my channel, I'll put a link in the chat right now. This is where you can join and come and chat to me. So if you want to chat with me, sign up to become a member and you can access this post. Join the stream as a guest. Here, there we go. I'll put a link right now in the chat, and that's where you can. Of course, if you want to just sit and watch like everyone else, you're more than fucking welcome. Absolutely welcome. Right, so we're going to jump over to the first guest to chat about this game. It's Louis, the wonderful Louis. Let me add him to the stream. Hang on. Do a tiny bit of editing, and there we go, my friend. How you doing, Louis? You good, mate?
I'm good. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have some palpitations in like 10 years or so.
Oh, absolutely. We've all got chronic heart failure now from supporting Manchester City Football Club, sadly. But it's often worth it, isn't it, mate? It is worth it often.
Especially after tonight, I was actually thinking, like when going 2-0 down, I actually thought, I know you know it as well, and I don't think many fans know it. It felt like the when we won against United, that De Aguero moment at 93-20, settled their pod, by the way.
Yeah, gosh, yeah.
Like where we won 3-2, and it just felt like that again. It really felt like that, and it's just like I literally like when Alvarez got that first goal, I was just like, get a second really quickly, and we did, and it's just like, what did Pep hit them with?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? With this Manchester City side, they're never really out of it. And there will be a time, as Guardiola said, we won't always come back. It's not possible to always come back. But the thing is about the City side is that we've now created a reputation of a team that can do that. They can flood you like that so quickly. And like that's what this City side is capable of. And that's what they do so consistently. That as soon as you get back to 2-1, and then if you hear that roar from the crowd and the players are up for it, it's almost certainly going to equalise. And once you equalise, we know we're going to win the game. So like, it just showed, doesn't it, Louis, that this team are capable of really good football that we know, but it's lacking a bit of spark, isn't it, at the moment? But we need something like that, doesn't it? Like a quick fire goal and what changed? What changed for you? Because obviously it did change at half time.
Gary Neville said it at half time. They got the hairdryer moment. I know we're equaling ourselves to United back when they were in their prime. Now. Yeah. He gave them the hairdryer moment, sort of thing. I never thought we'd actually get to that moment. I was always thinking, we'll be great, and we never need moments like that. And it's kind of it's weird because we brought Alvarez in, we brought Haaland in, we've got Phillips, it doesn't make sense with like Rico Lewis is in the team now. Like, make it make sense. Like, why are we so like? There's not much energy in the team, and I got a theory, but have to wait until maybe playing Arsenal in the league.
Yeah,
I don't think it'll happen in the FA Cup, but I think once we get to playing them at the Emirates on the 15th, is it?
Yes, in the February one.
Yeah, if we get to that game and they storm us in the first half like they did on New Year's Day last year.
Yeah.
Like in last season, then I think there's something more going on within the team, but I'm not going to do it until that point.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean, like, it might be that it is a step too far this season. It might be that Arsenal have the energy that maybe we lack, but it does feel to me, and I'm with you, I'm holding off with the season until that game. I mean, I think that's the line in the sand moment, because as well, if you actually look where that is in terms of real terms of the season as well, that mid-February game is sort of what a usual year would be about mid-January, you know. So it's a very good point, isn't it, to judge the team out of that point.
We got tough teams before then as well. We got Wolves on Sunday, and I'm so glad that he only bring on, was it Bernardo and Diaz in the second half?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that game on Sunday, we have, I can't believe I'm saying this, Laporte, De Bruyne, Cancelo. We got, like, can you try and find the...
I can tell you the bench was now. There's Laporte, Cancelo, Kyle Walker came on as well, actually. Bernardo, Foden, De Bruyne. They were all on the bench, which is quite remarkable. You know, that as far as benches go. I mean, you'd fancy those players, even with 9 men, to do all right against most teams. You know, just on bench.
I'm actually. This is the first time, and I've always been a Edison fan, but this is the first time that I've actually been like, this must be the first time he's actually made an error out from the back.
Yeah, well,
I know
he does it. He said it only a couple of times at most. And to be fair, like, he's going to happen at some point, isn't it? I don't really think we should blame him for what. I don't know. How do you feel about it?
Edison. It was weird because I've always been like, I love Edison to bits, and his number is the age I'm going to be on the 29th of January, 31.
Oh, really?
And I'm there, and I've always been like, since the moment he came in, and the only moment I was really worried was when he had that kung fu kick by Mane in 2017, the 5-0. Yeah, that was the only time I was like, shit. And thinking he's going to be out for the rest of the season and he won't be the same player, like the same goalkeeper, but he wasn't. He came back to final the next game, like 3 days later, which is...
Yeah.
Someone fucking explain to me that.
Yeah, it's mad, but that's Edison. How are you feeling now, head looking towards Wolves now? Are you like, do you want to see changes? Do you want to carry on with what we've got right now?
It's the players that were rested, like, or on the bench, should be playing.
Okay.
It's so annoying because why not have Spurs play Fulham on, like, against Fulham on the Super Sunday before the Arsenal United game, and then we play Wolves and have that on the Monday night, and then we'll have a 4-day gap to Arsenal on the Friday.
Yeah,
it feels like sabotage again, because we had the Southampton, like that quick like reset between, like, playing Southampton and then United on the Saturday morning, and fuck you, BT, you're cunts. I hate them. It's just like, why? It just makes that spectacle. Like, if United win, then, like, the press is all on City to win against Wolves, and it's
It's difficult.
I don't know.
Well, either way, Louis, I think all we can do is look after our own football, you know. And I think, like, tonight we were pretty decent. Louis, mate, I've got 5 other people waiting to go on, so I'm going to jump onto them if that's okay, pal. But I try to give everyone about 7-8 minutes or something like that, otherwise I won't get to sleep. But Louis, you're a superstar, man. And DM me again, and I'm so sorry, mate, I missed it. But genuinely, I'm blaming little Ruben for everything. It's Ruben's fault for everything, trust me. I'm not I'm missing about a billion things. You're a superstar, mate. I'll catch you soon. Thank you very much. Louis is a superstar. Thank you very much to Louis. Before I jump over to the next person, who I think is Michael, Dan with a super chat said, we miss fast non-inverted wingers, but what a win. I mean, that's pretty much known. I think it's true. I mean, I think if we want to play a certain way, we do need alternatives. I mean, I think the first half to me summed it up when Riyad was cutting inside and we had no one on the right hand side. If you're going to play with Rico kind of being really narrow, if you're going to do that, you need a winger on the outside. Someone like Sterling would have been great back then. Someone's just said, Raphael said, Steve, you need to call out the fans. No, I'm not going to do that, man. Look, it's not on me to tell people how to support the club, and I actually don't think I think our fan base is great. And I'm not going to sit here when I don't go to as many games as I used to anymore. I'm not going to sit here and tell people how to support the club when I'm sat on my fucking arse watching a game and streaming. I am not a fucking idiot. I am not a hypocrite. I would never do that. And ultimately, I think the City's fans, look, I go to Old Trafford, you watch Anfield, they aren't always rocking either. It's a myth. It's a myth, and the City's are no different to most. Guardiola wants the players fired up, and he's trying to do it, and he's got a right to do that. But no, I'm not going to do that because it's not my place to tell people how to support the club. I get the booing. I think the booing frustrated Guardiola. By the way, I think it did. But you know what? The fans were upset at the time, and sometimes players need to hear that what they just witnessed isn't good enough. Daniel with a super chat as well said Pep calling out the fans. To be honest, he's right. This is Daniel said. Way too quiet, but I think that's what you get when tickets are so much. £70 tickets, by the way. And let's be honest, the football isn't the most passionate and inspiring. It isn't. It is quite sleepy at times. And I think if the football's fiery, the people get up for it. And I think there's a byproduct of it. I mean, it's hard to be raucous and excited by that gif from the Simpsons where the ball passes to the side and then the side again. Passes back to the centre, back to the centre, back to the middle, back to the side again, back to the keeper. Sometimes the football is a little bit like that. But like, and look, I ultimately, I don't give a shit if someone wants to boo or not. Like, it's none of my business. I wouldn't boo, but I'm not going to tell the people not to. Like, I will never tell people how to be a fan. It's not my fucking place to do that. People do what they want to, and that's it. But either way, I've got to lay off the couch fans. Like, I'm having a go over couch fans. I'm not saying I don't think the couch fans can tell people who don't go to games how to be fans, and I don't think the fans who don't. I think they should all lay off each other. Is what I'm saying. Let people support how they want to, and ultimately, I think that's the fairest way to deal with it because it's none of my fucking business. Unless someone's been a total asshole, then yeah, let them be. That's it. And if someone's been an absolute wanker, then yeah. But I'm sorry, booing a team full of millionaires, I'm not going to feel sorry for them that much, you know. Either way, next on the chat, I'm going to bring on Michael Grasso. Michael, I hope you're there, ready and waiting. Sorry about that little detour there, guys. Michael, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't see you. Is that intentional? Or?
I don't know what's happening.
I don't know. You're just a black empty void on my screen, Michael. But I can hear you, I think.
Yeah, that's good enough.
The empty void, that is Michael's stream. Michael, how you doing, mate? Are you good? Did you enjoy that tonight?
That's a tough question. Did I enjoy that? It was
yeah.
Like the football wasn't that bad, but at the same time, it was another 2 quick goals that just throw the screen or throw whatever's in your hand. You're like, this is shit. Like, screw this. And then to have a comeback like we did in the second half.
Yeah.
Feel all good, but I still don't like. I felt good, obviously, when the goals are going in, but now that it's kind of sunk away, and I'm reading the press conference quotes from Guardiola, I'm like back to reality. That performance still wasn't our best.
So what is it about the press conference quotes that have got you feeling a little bit more? I guess they've leveled you a little bit. What is it particularly that Guardiola said? If people haven't, why are you concerned about
that? So I think he's mostly discussing that. Just like he said straight up that the level is not, or we're not at the level to compete yet. The passion is not there, and if we play like we do, there's no. I think it's the very latest one he said. If we play exactly how we did, we're gonna get destroyed by Arsenal.
I'm going to read that quote now, Michael, actually. 1 second, I've just seen it now. Pep Guardiola said, and this is a quote to add a bit of context to Michael, he said, "We are a happy flowers team, all nice and good. I don't want to be happy flowers, I want to be Arsenal. If you play in that way, Arsenal will destroy us." He's angry, isn't he? He sounds like he's really angry.
Yeah, like it just goes to show, because I'm sure everybody was pretty happy coming off that win, that comeback win. It was great, but then you jump straight to his press conference, and he's just been mostly negative, in my opinion, and still pushing for more, which is reassuring, but at the same time, it's...
Yeah, is that not a good thing? Because do you want him coming out firing? And because that famous clip, remember, like, "Oh, you're tired, fuck you." That famous clip everyone remembers from the documentary.
I love that clip. It's so
is
good.
that not what Pep's doing right now? Because he's going off, isn't he, man? He's going off.
No, that's what I want, and I'm not upset with what he's doing. I'm more upset with like it's just the reality that like to me in the moment I was like that performance felt better or felt good, and then to have him just drag us back and say no, it was still not like it was still at this shit level.
It's mad,
know,
isn't it? Because I was happy about it now, but I'm reading Pep's quotes now as you're talking, Michael. I'm like, oh, did I misremember a good performance? It feels like
that's what I mean. It felt like it was a good performance, but then he's just no, it was shit. We sucked. If we play like this, we're not competing, and it's like that's great. I'm glad he's doing it, but it scares me for the future games coming up because it's still like we're just at the beginning of the month, and we still have to play Spurs again, Arsenal, I think, twice in a short span. We gotta play Wolves. It's like it's not any easier going forward. Champions League starts again, and it just that's where the worry is coming from. It's like
the gloves are off, aren't they? Really, they really are. And like to be honest, I think it's long overdue. If I'm being honest with you, Michael, like, I feel like he's made plenty of digs at the fans over the years, which I think is I'm not really a fan of it really personally of the whole dig at fans thing. I mean, I think he doesn't understand a lot of it. I think he doesn't understand the full picture with some of the fans. Either way, it's nice. He never really goes into the players, and I actually like that he's coming out of the players for once. Good. Good, because I think the only way we're going to get through this is with some hard truths, and a bit of ferocity, because I think the time for niceness is over, really, isn't it?
I think so, yeah, but it might also show that behind the scenes that maybe some of the players this year are just not putting their head down and focusing like they normally would, and that's why he has to come out and give him this shit. It's like that other quote from the documentary where he runs in the change room and he's like, sit down. Nobody talk. And then that's kind of where like
that Pep's scary though, isn't it? That he is scary when he's like that Pep. Like some people do have that aura where they are brutal. But we're talking a lot about the negatives here. I mean, like, what about the positives tonight, Michael? Like who stood out for you? Like what at full time before you'd heard Pep talk, why were you happy, I guess?
You gotta give two players, I think, in particular, their dues for this game, and it's Riyad Mahrez and Rico Lewis. That right hand side, I think, was just special shout out. Also, I'm gonna kind of tear him down a bit, but special shout out to Ake as well, because defensively he was great. But it's also I don't know. We can get into it after, but I think he deserves credit for his defending.
Yeah.
But the main two I would say was Rico Lewis and Riyad Mahrez.
Mahrez at this time of year, Michael, there's something about him, isn't there? He just turns up and like the joke is always like Mahrez in gloves in winter. It's just like he's stepped up so much, hasn't he? Like right now, like that, he's playing like a leader, isn't he? I think it's fair to say.
He is. It's like he's just like because obviously it's with all the new recruitment in the summer. It's almost like he's a new senior squad member.
Yeah.
Now in that team, and the way he played today was almost like this is not who we are as a team, and he just picked the ball up and ran things down that right-hand side.
Yeah, it was absolutely wonderful. I mean, how are you feeling now ahead of the Wolves game personally? And I guess further out than that, is this restored any confidence for you personally, or?
I'm kind of sitting around the same.
Okay.
So not super confident, not super negative. I think at this point it's just taking it one game at a time. So full focus on Wolves. Don't think about how many points we are behind or who's behind us. It's just one game at a time. Do what we can and try and get back to where we were.
I think that's fair, and I think that's a good way to end this chat on, Michael, if that's okay. Michael, you're a superstar. Good to chat to you again, mate. Thank you very much for coming on.
Thank you as well.
I'll catch you very, very soon. Thank you very much to Michael for joining the chat. This is the Fan View Live. Once again, I'll give you a bit of an update if you don't know what this is, where members and patrons can have a chat. The link is in. Did I put it in the chat? Yeah, it's the pinned comment. Of course, I can keep it open to people who are members. It's the best way to keep it all controlled, really. If you want to have a chat, you can join by clicking that link and becoming a member. It's good fun to chat to you guys as well, because there's obviously loads to talk about after a game. I'm going to go to Pete in a second. I'm just trying to read the Pep Guardiola quotes to add a little bit more context, because I think that was a really important victory tonight. I actually like my take in the middle of this fan view is the Pep stuff. I like it. I think Pep coming out being brutal is the right thing that we need right now. I think Pep, when he's in this kind of form, he's scary. And I think a scary Guardiola is a Guardiola that's listened to. Like, we do not need happy, oh, it's all right that we're doing it. We're second, that's fine. We don't need that. We need a Guardiola who comes out and bangs fucking heads together. Angry Pep is a Pep I wouldn't want to meet, but it's a Pep I would respect straight away. Pete, if you're there and ready, 1 second, I'll bring you into the stream. Pete, how you doing, Pete? You good, mate?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
Yes, tired in many ways, emotionally, physically.
Relieved, right? Don't you feel relieved?
Yeah. How do you feel, Pete? How do you feel?
I do. I do feel relief. But to echo, what Pep said in the post-game interview, I completely agree. I 100% agree with everything, every take he gave us. You've got an incredible lineup up and down, the pitch, on the bench. These guys are all professionals.
Yeah.
And they're not playing to Pep's and City's standards. They're just not. And so I don't think it should be sugar-coated that we had a nice comeback and got 3 points that we should have gotten, anyway. Playing at home against the Tottenham team that, hasn't been in great form to begin with. So as a fan, I'm obviously relieved for the 3 points. It was good to see it because, what would we all be saying right now if we had lost? Like, their season's over, no title, blah, blah, blah. But so, obviously it was important that we got it. It was important that, we showed some fight and some energy in the second half. And but I'm not looking at that as a game as like, oh, wow, we were great, because I really don't think we were. I think jumping on them quickly in the second half kind of put them on their heels a little bit. And when we got the second one, obviously the energy then of the stadium and everything takes over. But I was commenting earlier in the chat about, like Rico Lewis's miraculous little save there on the goal line. I mean, without that, we're down 3-2, and who knows what happens. After 6-7 minutes of really good football, without that save, I mean, we could be talking, doldrums right now.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's funny, isn't it? Because there's a lot of sliding doors moments like that in football. And of course, Rico right at the heart of it, as he was all game. And I think you're right, by the way, in general, about it wasn't a great performance. I don't think it was a bad performance personally. We're obviously welcome to disagree on that. But I don't think it was. I wouldn't say it was reassuring. I think we'd probably both agree with that. Like, I don't think it was like, oh, I've seen enough there and I'm no longer worried. It felt relief. It was a relief to see City actually find a bit of momentum and the energy that we know they can have. But I still think we need to see an awful lot more. And going back to the Guardiola thing, I mean, we all know, and if you don't know, everyone watching this, Guardiola has quite famously come out and said he will always defend his players publicly. He said he will always do that. So it's always been an actual thing of Guardiola's to be nice, even when we haven't played well. And how many times have we all sat here as fans and gone, really, Pep? When he's gone, oh, I'm so impressed. One of the best performances I've ever seen. And we're like, we just fucking drew 1-1 against Southampton. And he's like, oh, it's amazing. He does it all the time. This is a change of tact, isn't it, Pete? Like, this is a massive change of tact because he's come out and got rid of something he's been doing for 7 years at Manchester City. He's no longer going, that was great. He went, we're fucking shit, basically. And he's come out, he didn't say that in those words, but he's come out and really gone at everyone. He's gone at everyone aggressively. Like, is it worse than we realise behind the scenes right now? Like, it must be, surely. Like, because to have such a change of tactics, or do you think it's an idea, or like a tactic? You know what I mean?
Well, I will answer that question, but let me ask you a question real quick. What do you think any other manager in the PL would have done at halftime based on what the first half, brought to us? I guarantee you 19 other managers would have thrown 1 or 2 guys on, tried to change the momentums, to change the energy. And one of the things that I enjoy about Pep that he's done in the past as well is when he's not getting stuff out of players on the pitch, he just makes them stay out there. And he's like, hey, you dug this hole, get yourself out of it.
No, I agree. I like that. I mean, it can be frustrating as a fan, but his point is about responsibility, isn't it? Take responsibility for your actions and fix your own problems. And
because it's not Foden and KDB's responsibility to come on and bail those guys out. It's not. And what I enjoyed about the second half is that we got some leadership out of Mahrez, and I thought Rodri picked up his play a little bit in the second half, and Gundogan played great until he got subbed off. Some of those senior guys, really really picked it up for us and, gave us that energy and spark we needed to make the comeback happen. And I think that's important that, he challenges them like that, because it's not going to get any easier moving forward in the PL, and it's definitely not going to get any easier in the Champions League.
As well, you're right, actually bang on. And another way of looking at it as well, if he just laid into those players and took 2 of them off, he's going to have no idea how those 2 players would have responded to everything he's just said. If you know what I mean by that? Like, he has to know if they will respond to his ideas. He has to learn if those players are listening and can take in what he's trying to say. So, as much as we want to see wholesale changes, and sometimes he will do, but sometimes I do wonder, like, if he's testing the players as well as doing it. Like, he's very much going like, I know you've been terrible, but I also want to see you've listened. If you've listened and you're actually going to put into what I've said. And, like, I think that is what makes it, like, it's so interesting that the tactic he does. But away from all that, Pete, like, obviously, there's no 2 ways about it. Even if it wasn't a great performance, that was an important win, right?
Very, extremely. And I think, obviously going into the weekend with, a Wolves team, which we expect to beat, it would have been a lot different pressure on the players if we had dropped points today. But, to your point, again, as fans, we see 2 halves of football, and we're ecstatic with the second half, obviously, because of how well we played and the energy we showed. But I think that, if Pep's message gets through and we play with that kind of energy moving forward, I don't think that the PL title's over. I don't. I really don't.
Well, as well, I mean, like, you're right about that, and given the fact that the big game is still actually a few weeks away, the Arsenal game, so we've got a lot of time to warm up the engine, haven't we, really, and get into our stride again. Do you think that, I've got a theory that a lot of what he was saying today, Guardiola, after the game, it wasn't necessarily directed at the players on the pitch, it was, but the ones not on the pitch too. And the ones on the bench, the senior players, Cancelo, De Bruyne, Foden, like, these are some superstars on the bench, like you can't be happy with their level of performance either, can he, at the moment?
Yeah, I think your first guest tonight, Lewis, is that right?
Yes.
I think he mentioned it. If you're Cancelo and Walker, and you're looking at the lineup tonight with one of our bogey teams for the last couple of years, and we really needed a performance after the United game, and Rico Lewis is starting, I mean, if you're a professional, I don't know what else you need from a motivation. I mean, I'm sure they're all excited and happy for him that, he's getting an opportunity, as teammates. But if you're a professional and you're getting, paid, millions of dollars to do this, don't you want to be the one out there? Don't you, want to be the one that's, in the spotlight in the big games? And so, I'm hoping as professionals that, there isn't more behind the scenes than we think there is. That everybody's staying together and the chemistry is good. But, I think I've mentioned this before, in earlier parts of my life, I coached basketball for a number of years. And, I know as a coach, that different players respond to different types of motivation.
Yeah.
And, the thing that you were saying about Pep always, protecting his players in the post-game interview and not throwing anybody under the bus. But, again, just to kind of put that out there that we won tonight, but this isn't good enough, I think is the message that this team needs when we've kind of been in a little bit of a funk lately.
Yeah. I think that's fair. And I think maybe I saw someone suggest on Twitter just then that maybe this team's a bit too nice and a lot of the worries and battlers have gone, and maybe that's true actually. So maybe this tough love thing is something that they need to get them through it. Pete, it's a pleasure chatting to you, man. Go on,
hey, just one quick moment of levity before we leave. So I'm watching the post game and the players are all clapping, the fans and everything else. I don't know if you saw it, but Julian Alvarez runs over to the stands with an Argentinian guy holding up a sign, and he literally takes his shorts off and gives them to the guy.
Oh, what? Look, I know how cold it is out there as well. That's the thing.
I thought it was hilarious. I've never seen a guy take his shorts off and hand them to somebody in the crowd.
I'm not sure I want them either. I'd be like, do I want these shorts? You know what I mean? Like, with all due respect, I mean, you know, he's a handsome man and all that, but I don't even want his shorts. It's 3 degrees as well, centigrade, 3 degrees. So it's cold in Manchester as well right now. I just looked at the weather.
Certainly appreciate the time, Steve. It's always a pleasure to talk with you.
Likewise, mate. Thank you very much for coming on. Pete's a superstar.
Yeah.
Catch you soon, pal.
Cheers.
Pete's wonderful. Don't forget, you can have your say as well if you want to. I'll get to Christian in a second. I know I just added you, Christian. Hang on there 1 second, mate. Don't forget, this is the Fan View Live. Please do hit the subscribe button. Please do hit the like button as well. It's massively appreciated on this video. Super chat from Mark says we won't win them all, but we'll win the rest. Mark, I love it. I love the optimism. Mark was been super chatting from the start of the season saying we'll win them all. I wish you were right. I do feel like obviously this whole Guardiola thing is going to hang over. The comments are designed to stir the pot, you know. And Joe, I'm going to quickly read the comments before we get into the next the next guest with Christian. But 1 second, let me quickly read the comments from Guardiola because I feel like they add a lot of context if you've not read them already. So Guardiola said, where is it? He's come out firing, by the way. He really has. He said City were lacking in guts, passion, fire, and a desire to win from minute one. The same with the City fans. They were silent for 45 minutes. I want my fans back. He said, we are far away from being able to compete at the highest level. We have an opponent in Arsenal who are fire. 2 decades without winning the Premier League. I'm explaining the reality. Everything is so comfortable, but opponents do not wait. I don't recognise my team. They had the passion and desire to run previously. We are far away from the team we had in previous seasons. Do you think this comeback will happen every time? It won't. So today we were lucky. If we want to win something or compete, but complaining, no chance we will win anything. Then he talks about Riyad, by the way, being a great player. He also said, do you think we're going to chase the gap to Arsenal the way we're playing? No way. God, fucking hell. He really was brutal. And he said, people say we haven't had success because we haven't won the Champions League. Bullshit. He was going on and on and on, and it's wonderful to see. Anyway, one quick super chat before we get over to Christian. Puffed said, I predicted a huge win against United after Southampton lost, but it came against Spurs. City always react, and that's guaranteed. Losses are fuel. I hope you are right, my friend. Anyway, over to Christian. Christian, how are you doing, mate? Thank you for patiently waiting there.
Of course. I'm doing well. Thanks so much. How about you, Stephen?
I'm happier now. Happier than I was about 2 hours ago. Probably about an hour and a half ago, actually, to be honest, mate. Whereabouts are you calling from, by the way?
New York City.
Oh, New York City, man. Oh, I'd love to be in New York again. Not been for a while now. I love New York City. Anyway, so that game, it's become a very big game. Like, not just because of the result on the pitch, the noise around it as well with Guardiola. He's obviously created a bit of a story around it. How are you feeling now that you've digested not just the game itself, the reaction to, the comeback, all of what's happened tonight?
Everything. And you know what? I have to agree with everybody else who's spoken so far, but also with the general, notion that Guardiola is trying to get across. I have my own group chats, as I'm sure everybody else does, with their own friends and, their fantasy Premier League. And I have a couple of City fans, and even them, they were like, I'm turning this off. I'm done. And I was furious, too, because contrary to everybody else, I actually thought we played a pretty good first half. It was one of our best halves of 2023. I'd even go as far as to say, honestly.
I thought we were decent as well.
Before the game started, when I saw the lineup, people were texting me saying, oh my God, ridiculous. I can't believe this. All our starters are on the bench. And I said, listen, it can go one of two ways, as it always does. It can either be a disaster class or a master class. But regardless of the result, I'm happy that Pep's doing this because it's necessary.
Yeah.
He made a point today to prove that it doesn't matter what your name is, i.e. Kevin De Bruyne, Laporte, people like that, Phil Foden, superstar boy, or how much money you make. If you're not performing, you're on the bench because we have people who are hungry and who are thirsty and who will bleed for their badge on the pitch. And that's what I saw today. Character, grit, determination, relentless pressure. Even Grealish, whose post-match interview was quite hilarious.
I haven't seen it yet, but I can't wait to watch it afterwards.
Hilarious. But yeah, no, listen, I agree with everything Guardiola is saying, and fans are quick to just forget that the reason that we've won 4 Premier Leagues in 5 seasons is because of that relentless determination, that never die attitude, that never give up attitude. And we proved that again today. These 3 goals came, 3 goals in 12 minutes. This is yet another comeback win. Yet another comeback win. And by the way, everybody knows it was against the run of play, these goals. We were battering Tottenham. We were battering them. First half was ours. It was inevitable. A goal was inevitable to come, but it didn't. And then all of a sudden, Ederson, who's sloppy. I think I sent the super chat, and
Yeah.
I said that who's paying this guy off, because it's been quite a few games where his passing is off. He made up for it with the assist to Mahrez, of course, but still, that's a worry. And I just was worried, once again, that we fall down 2-0 against the run of play, and I questioned their attitude, what was going to happen at the dressing room, and maybe Pep brought Arteta back to inspire this comeback at the halftime dressing room to give that team talk, because something changed and we came out firing on all cylinders, and it was beautiful to watch.
It was. To be honest, I think something changed. I think it was what Pep said. I think Pep just, when he pressed the switch, I think he went for him, and I think he's decided to take the gloves off, really, and I think it's needed. I think we needed Pep to. Do you remember Pep said about a year or two ago when he was always quite tough on his players, but he decided that they'd earned his respect, and he's going to be a little bit kinder to him and all that kind of stuff. I think he's decided to fuck that off massively. I think Pep has decided to be aggressive in the faces, and I think the players that are playing today, as you touched on, Christian, are the ones who are just reacting in training at the moment, the hungriest ones. Alvarez, Grealish, Rico Lewis. I think these people, maybe even Ake, because you look at the players that are on the pitch today, apart from a couple, Stones has been hungry for a long time. Stones is like in some of the best form of his career. Rodri is ultra reliable, always is. Rico Lewis couldn't be hungry. He's 18-year-old. Ake is hungry too, because simply he's broken into the team, and he wants to be there. He's there. Akanji's hungry because he's new. Obviously Gundogan is a leader, so he's there for obvious reasons. We know Grealish is hungry because he wants to prove himself. Likewise Haaland, likewise Alvarez, the new players, and Mahrez because he wasn't in the World Cup, but he's in good form. There's a really solid argument why all those players right now are the ones that aren't as established. A lot of them, not all of them, a couple of exceptions there at all, but you can really point out and go, well, these probably are actually the hungry ones playing. Because you could turn around and say, what has KDB got to prove himself? Phil Foden is off the back of 2 Young Player of the Year campaigns, and like he might even have been personally, unintentionally caught in a bit of a rut as well, Then you look at Bernardo. Bernardo's head could be elsewhere, it could be in fucking Barcelona or fucking Paris or whatever. Laporte has been around for ages, he might not be as hungry as he used to be, There's so many reasons why certain players could just not be at their very best, and he might be like, fuck it. The ones who are happy to be in the team right now are the ones who are playing. And I could be wrong, Christian, but when you look at that lineup, it makes sense, doesn't it?
I agree with you 100% wholeheartedly. In fact, Haaland started this game. He was also hungry, despite breaking the goal, the record for a goal scored at this stage of the season and being on the hunt. But this was the first game that he was goalless in 2 back-to-back Premier League games. So he was hungry. There was a reputation about him not being able to fit in with our system. Alvarez, World Cup winner, as you touched on.
Yeah.
And I just have to give a special shout out to Mahrez, who I thought was absolute shit in the first half of this season. He was really bad. He was off the mark. He was absolutely poor. So he absolutely had something to prove. He's been showing that he's, coming back into form and being the player that we remember him of last season and 2 seasons ago, semifinals against PSG. But I have to say, I think this was the best performance of his career. I will go so far as to say that this was a Ballon d'Or winning performance by Riyad Mahrez. He was involved in every single goal, and his dribbling was back, as you touched on during the halftime talk.
It's aggressive, isn't it? It's aggressive again. I love it.
Aggressive, beautiful, just exactly what we need. Everything that we needed, we had today through Mahrez and through these leaders, like you said, Gundogan giving out the good balls, and Alvarez with a clutch side foot finish. It was not easy, that goal. That first goal to get us back into the game. It was a beautifully executed striker's poacher's finish, and he did that. So, I really do think, and I hope that we can turn back to this at the end of the season and say that this was the win that sparked our title-winning run. Because every season we go on these 10, 12, 15-game winning runs. And I do fundamentally believe, I still believe that City can do it. They can do it. Never say die.
I agree, mate. I think they can. It's very possible. I decided then, out of curiosity, to look at Mahrez's. I'll take his last 10 games because that seems a fair number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 goals and 2 assists in his last 10 games. You're not wrong, mate. That is literally, top level. It's a striker form, and that's what Mahrez is playing. In his last, how many games? Last 5 games, he's on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 goals and 2 assists in his last 5 games. There's 3 man of the matches in that as well, I think. So
Absolutely.
that's Mahrez right now. He's absolutely fire. He's on fire, any man. And I love it. Anything else you want to add, Christian, before I start to wind the video up, man?
Yeah. Just one last thing. So Mahrez at the beginning of the season, if you remember, Pep, he publicly spoke during a press conference and said Mahrez is underperforming.
Yeah.
He did the same thing about KDB, and he said the same thing about Foden recently as well. And we have to have faith in Pep. You say this all the time, that Pep knows more than us. So let's just continue to have faith in the manager that's brought us our most successful era of this club.
Yeah, of course.
And to believe in him forever.
Well,
it's still halfway point just happened right now. We have another half of the season to go.
Yeah.
Can Arsenal, who bottled top 4 on the last game of the season, all of a sudden we're supposed to expect them to be title challengers, and we're giving him the title? We're throwing in the towel at this stage? No, I refuse to believe it, and I won't allow it. Come on, City.
No, you're right, and they might do it. And I guess the way I would look at it, as always, is like, and you talked about, the date of it is still only in real terms mid-December at this point, as opposed to mid-January, because we lost 5 weeks of the season. So it isn't as late as it feels. I said that yesterday in a Twitter thread. Pep has earned the right to struggle. Of course he has. Like, everyone has earned the right, especially when he's done what he's done. Everyone gets a season where it's not perfect, but even then, are struggling worse. We're currently second. We're in Champions League. We cruise through the Champions League, and there's a very good chance that if he doesn't turn around, he'll still run it very, very close. And then we will rebuild, and it's very obvious to me that Pep is clearly right now in the right space mentally. He's come out and gone, fuck it, I'm going to fix this team because I'm fucking Pep Guardiola, and I love that, man. And that to me is a good place to end this video on. Kristen, you're an absolute superstar, mate, and I will chat to you very, very soon.
She wants to say hi to Ruben.
Oh,
Alina right here.
Oh, who's this beautiful little girl? Who's this?
Yeah. So I just wanted to say hi to Ruben from Alina.
Oh, Alina's beautiful. Oh, hello, Alina. How old's Alina?
She's 2 months. She just turned 2 months.
2 months?
Saturday.
Oh,
Yeah.
so well, there we go. I got my 3 months. You got your 2 months. I'm sure one day they'll meet and they'll be beautiful together. There we go. Congratulations, mate. Are you knackered? Is it your first?
Yeah, this is my first. I mean, we were tweeting back and forth.
Yeah, I remember actually. Yeah.
Our wife's pregnancy. So yeah.
How you coping?
Good. She's actually pretty good. She sleeps well at night. We're
lucky.
And it's good. But when she cries, and she wants to make sure that we remember that she's here.
Oh, good. We're lucky as well. Ruben sleeps pretty well. Like, he's still fucking knackering even when you sleep well, isn't it? Because I'm still waking. Have you got a next to me crib thing? We got one of them, and like,
yes,
he's on my side often. It's just like he just stirs, and I'm there making sure he doesn't scratch. He's like, he's got eczema at the moment, so he's scratching himself awake, and I'm like, I'm laying there holding his hand so he doesn't scratch himself half asleep, and then you wake up and go, did I actually sleep or did I just think about sleeping? But
it's strange, but that's the life of a parent.
But 2 months is when it changes. It gets a lot easier, and it's got a lot easier for us. In 3 months yesterday, we took it to the aquarium, and it was wonderful. Aquarium, by the way, if you've got an aquarium near you, I'd recommend it.
Yeah,
Ruben fucking loved it yesterday. Anyway, Christy, I could chat about kids all day in the street because I'm like, it's changed your life, done it? Everything, your whole world has changed. Anyway, guys, catch you all very soon. I'll leave Kristen in the video as well as I say goodbye. Like, subscribe, go watch a match reaction, and from me and from Kristen, goodbye everyone. Bye bye.